Hey everybody, Chef Jill here, welcome back. So it's time for another date night dinners. This time I'm gonna try to shoot for something that's gluten-free, but maybe without the label of being gluten-free. When marketing gets involved, things get more expensive. So I'm gonna show you a super simple gluten-free menu that actually you'll probably wanna eat anyway. Don't forget our 3 rules for date night dinners. Number 1, I have to make sure that I create a drink, a main entree, a side dish, and a dessert. Second rule is it needs to accommodate for dietary restrictions, preferences, allergies, things like that. Third rule, I put myself on a $30 budget. So that way when you replicate this at home at your local grocery store, you won't be spending an arm and a leg to make a meal for someone else. So my goal today is to create kind of a gluten-free Tex-Mex kind of situation. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to find some chicken breast in there. That's been relatively easy to find with the grocery storages. So hopefully I'll be able to find some of that. I'm also looking for fajita vegetables, fajita seasoning, a shredded cheese blend of some sort. I would love to find like a rice side dish, so maybe I'll look for that. Some vegetables to add to it, maybe something easy. And then I think for the dessert, I'm gonna do another cool dessert. Being that it's summertime, I really love the ice cream and sorbet kind of thing, so let me see what I can come up with over there. And drink, I'm thinking like a sparkling rum drink. That might be good since it is so sunny and beautiful outside. So I'm gonna head into the store and see what I come up with. Assuming I find everything that I'm looking for, I'll also give you a list of the stuff that you probably have on hand already. So I'll see you back in just a couple minutes and let's see how we do. Okay, so I'm back from the grocery store and I have my haul. Unfortunately, they had a lot of things for me, so good news is I'll be able to make that Tex-Mex meal gluten-free the way I had hoped to. So the basis of the meal, the protein-wise, is gonna be this beautiful chicken breast that I got. So there's 2 huge chicken breasts here, which I washed and trimmed. This is a little over 2 pounds. So these guys are massive, but again, you're feeding 2 to 3 servings, so this should be enough for that. I also picked up a bag of reduced fat Fiesta blend cheese, kind of taco style or Mexican style mixed cheese. I picked up 1 green and 1 red bell pepper. Hopefully you like these. They're some of my favorite. I love bell peppers. I have 1 yellow onion. You can use a sweet onion if you prefer, like a Vidalia, it's up to you. I picked up 1 packet of fajita seasoning. It's like 80 cents. All the seasoning's already in here and it's exactly what you need. So instead of having to buy 100 different kinds of seasoning, everything you need in 1 pouch. I also bought a little container of already made pico de gallo, which is beautiful. There's big flakes of cilantro in there. It's gonna be great on top of this chicken when I'm done with it. Now, I happen to have some olive oil at home, so if you don't have olive oil, it doesn't have to be extra virgin, can be regular standard olive oil. Make sure you pick up a little bit of this too if you don't have it. And then other than this, all you need for the main entree is salt and pepper. My side dish is gonna be a rice, which is a really handy go-to for a gluten-free person. And to make it easy on myself and to make it easy on you on date night, get some help in the form of a box, okay? It's okay to use stuff like this. And this particular one, this Caribbean style, is gonna be great because it's got a little bit of spice, a little bit of sweetness to it, which is gonna be perfect. Just make sure that you check the ingredients label and make sure there's no gluten in here already because you're not gonna add any, it just calls for water and butter, but you wanna make sure that you're not adding any gluten to something that already has gluten in it. So make sure there's no gluten in there, okay? In order to make it special, I'm gonna toss in a little bit of that pico that I have left over from the roast into the rice to jazz it up. And I also found some like dry roasted sweet macadamia nuts. So I'm gonna dice these up and put them in the rice too, just to add like a little bit of crunch to it. Again, make sure there's no gluten in there because they're sneaky sometimes, okay? For dessert, I found these amazing gluten-free chocolate chip cookies. Save yourself from baking when it's 1,000,000 degrees outside. You don't have to, it's okay. But to make store-bought cookies better, I found Ben & Jerry's. So we're actually gonna make ice cream sandwiches today, which is something that a gluten-free person may not expect, but in checking the ingredients label here on my Muforia Cherry Garcia with a twist, there is no gluten in here, so I'm good here too. So we'll be able to actually have a good ice cream and cookie dessert without any gluten. For the drink, I told you earlier that I was hoping to do like a rum drink. So I'm using a little bit of rum from my stash. This is Bacardi. You can use any rum, or you can just go get a little, like a airline bottle and those little guys of it if you're only gonna use it this one time. And I bought a sparkling strawberry watermelon kind of drink to mix with it as my mixer. If you have any fruit in your house, strawberries, grapes, lemons, limes, kiwi, apple, whatever you have, what you can do is freeze that, stick it in the freezer, especially berries work great for this, And then right when you're ready to mix the drink, drop that frozen fruit into the cup and then mix on top of it, and you'll have ice cubes that don't melt. It will keep your drink colder longer, but it won't water down your drink. So I'm gonna start some prep here, show you what the process looks like. Keep in mind, it's the night before we're actually gonna enjoy this. So work ahead a little bit, get your prep done, and let me show you what that looks like for the day before. Once your peppers and onions are all golden and brown like this, seasoned awesome, take them off the heat and let them sit until they're room temperature. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do prep-wise is get your chicken roulade made. So I have a nice big clean board here. I'm gonna put gloves on in just a moment after I line the board with plastic wrap. This is a barrier for the chicken as well as for you. Okay, here's my plastic wrap. Put my gloves on. This is just to keep myself safe. You never know with chicken. You do not have to wear gloves, just make sure your hands are clean, okay? On my cutting board over here, I'm gonna take one of these massive chicken breasts that I have, and I'm gonna slice them horizontally this way, but not all the way through. I'm gonna kind of butterfly them a little bit. I'll show you what I mean. So here was the chicken, slice him horizontally so he's butterflied just like this. Lay him skin side down, like so. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one. Bring him back to you, open him up, and I'm gonna lay him the other way, this way, okay? Now I'm gonna take the plastic wrap and bring it down over to cover. I'm not touching the chicken anymore, so I took my glove off. You take your gloves off in between. Now you're gonna take a little mallet, or you can use the back end of a pot, something heavy, and give these guys a little smack just to flatten them out a little bit. The goal here is to make sure that it's even across the entire surface. So don't worry about making it a certain thickness. They can be anywhere from 1 inch to 1/2 inch, but make sure it's completely even all the way across. And by the way, it's already dead, so you don't have to kill it, okay? Take it easy. So once you have a nice flat surface here, I'm gonna turn the plastic wrap the other way, like so. Then I'm gonna open this puppy back up. Don't touch the chicken, you don't have to. First things first, we're gonna lay on a thin layer of this Mexican blend cheese that I have. Then you're gonna go get those fajita vegetables that you made, and you're gonna lay some of those this way. You may end up with more vegetables than you need, that's okay. Don't try to overstuff this or it won't roll. Now what I'm gonna do is rinse my hands real quick, put gloves back on, and show you how to roll this. So rolling away from yourself, you're gonna lift up the lid, roll it up, and keep on rolling. You should end up with something that looks kind of like that. As you can see, a couple little guys will fall out, that's normal. Just tuck them back in. Now I'm gonna take the rest of my fajita seasoning and hit the outside of the chicken with it. Okay. And then I'm just gonna pat that in so it sets. Now what you're gonna do is move this guy over to this foil-lined pan, wrap him with plastic, clean plastic, not this one, and keep him chilled until about an hour before your guest shows up. For me, that's tomorrow. So the second thing you're gonna prep the day before is your dessert. So I have my cookies here. I'm gonna open these guys up. I think the temptation is gonna be not to eat the entire bag the night before. But if you prep the night before, then you don't have to worry about eating the whole thing. So I'm gonna open these guys up. These are pretty small. You're gonna open them so that the pan facing side is towards you. I think I'm gonna make 4 total. Now, if your ice cream is soft, you can go ahead and sandwich them. That'll help make sure the cookies stay together. But if your ice cream's a little on the hard side, let them sit on the counter for just a moment before you sandwich them. This will stop the cookies from crumbling in your hands when you press them together. So I'm going to do 4 total sandwiches, 2 for each of us. And I'm gonna wrap them as 2 and 2. Make sure you wrap them nice and tight. And get these guys in the freezer really fast. All right, guys, T-minus 1 hour until my guest of honor shows up. So now I'm ready to put the final touches on everything. Yesterday, when we got home from the grocery store, we prepped our chicken roulade, and I've had it in the fridge overnight. It looks good. This is gonna go into a 375-degree oven for about 45 minutes. So get this in now. Get your oven on, get this on. The rice we're also gonna do right now, and like I said, we're gonna add in like a tablespoon of that pico de gallo to it in the last couple minutes. And make sure that you get your macadamia nuts if you're using them chopped. You don't have to use nuts if you're not a fan, or you can use anything else, any other nut like pecan or walnut or anything else instead of macadamia nuts. But I'm gonna get mine chopped up. My ice cream sandwiches are already in the freezer from yesterday, but I wanna make sure that I get my fruit in there now, about an hour before they get here, to get cold, to keep my drink cold when I make that right when they walk in the door. And then we're gonna make that drink. Literally when he sends me a message and tells me he's on his way, I'm gonna get the drink made. So here we go. About 5 minutes before it's done, add 1 tablespoon of your pico. Give it a stir. And pop that lid back on. All right, my rice is tender, sauce is nice and thick, so I think I'm good here. Go ahead and put the lid on that puppy and keep it warm till your guest shows. All right, guys, it's gonna be here any minute. Chicken's out of the oven. It looks absolutely amazing. I'm gonna slice a few servings, put it on these plates with the rice and pico. I have the ice cream sandwiches on plates ready to go, and I'm getting ready to mix the drink. And for the drink, make sure you got a nice frosty glass. I'm gonna drop those frozen grapes in there. About 1 ounce of rum. Top it off with my strawberry watermelon seltzer. Beautiful. And here it is, just in time for your company, our done meal. So here's our fajita chicken roulade with fajita vegetables and cheese inside, a side of pico, and then your macadamia topped Caribbean rice, your beverage with those frozen grapes at the bottom, so pretty, and your amazing little gluten-free ice cream sandwiches. So I don't know about you, but you could pretty much convince anybody to go gluten-free with a menu like this one. It's been a pleasure cooking for you. If you're looking for more gluten-free recipes, go back in my channel a little bit and you'll find one for risotto. But in the meantime, if you want to subscribe and click that bell, that would be great. I really appreciate it. And I will see all of you next time.